I would say good morning to everybody. Welcome to our Thousand Little MS Things. I'm Claire Jens. This is my friend Claudia Burns, who helps with all these things as well.
Yes.
And we're meeting today with a girl called, I don't know how to say your name.
Is it Charlene?
How do you say your name?
Charlene, yes.
Okay, because your Instagram blog is a bit different.
Yeah. It's Charlene, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, lovely to meet you,
Yes,
Charlene.
likewise,
So maybe we'll
Nice
start
to
with,
meet you guys.
yeah, so how did you guys get connected? Was it from the podcast or
How
was
did
it from
meet
the
you?
movie?
How did I meet you?
How did we chat to you over online?
I came to your movie premiere on Chapel Street, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so from there, I messaged you after going home, like on the way home actually from the movie. I messaged you and I thought, this is so great that, Claire and her husband has come up with this movie and it's touched on relationships and family, because not many people talk about this. It's always so medical based and what do we do next to get you back on track or healthy. So when this movie came out, I said to my husband, we need to go and watch this, because I think we could learn a thing or two and we could probably, like learn from it and see if there's any aspects of the movie that touches our lives and how we could, go from there. And yeah, it was just such an incredible movie. It touched me on a personal level, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just reach out to her and let her know there's another person that is supporting her through this. And there's a funny thing in the movie. There was mention of Malaysia, and so anytime somebody mentions Malaysia, I get excited because that's where I'm originally from.
So you live in Melbourne now, but you're originally from Malaysia?
Yes, correct. So I've came to live in Melbourne since 2012 permanently, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I saw there was a bit of it was a scene when you were at work, and the lady said something about Malaysia. I'm like, oh, okay. So that kind of made me want to reach out as well. It's silly, but yeah.
And you were saying that in Malaysia, MS is not really well known or not well acknowledged. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. So awareness around MS in Malaysia, and dare I say, Southeast Asia in general, is still very significantly low. So the burden of getting social services, financial assistance for MS is extremely difficult. Before even an actual confirmed diagnosis, patients are already suffering because of how costly and lengthy the process is. And it's partly due to how rare MS is in these countries. My cousin is a GP in Malaysia. I actually jumped on the chat with her yesterday before coming on here, and I spoke to her, and she's been a GP for about 13 years now, and she's still yet to personally come across a patient with MS. So that's a telling sign. It's very rare. And I've always made this joke about MS is a rich person's disease.
I wish so. Yeah.
Because it really debilitates a person, when the symptoms take over, and the domino effect of it is not being able to attain or hold down jobs.
Yes.
And because you're tired or not feeling quite right, and because you're now earning half the income or no income at all.
Yes.
For example, if I was still back in Malaysia, I might not be able to afford treatment, and the disease will just progress, right? So to put into perspective, I'm on Ocrevus here, thankfully. And thankfully Medicare covers the treatment. Thank God for that. But if I was back in Malaysia, I'd have to fork out about 100 grand ringgit, Malaysian ringgit.
Which is per annum?
For each treatment.
Of each treatment? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's approximately 36 grand in Australian dollars. And that is just medication costs. It's excluding hospital charges.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's like, in my mind, I call this a rich person's disease, because if you don't have the money, you literally cannot look after yourself in these countries.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
And do you know anyone in Malaysia that has MS?
I personally don't, but I've been on groups and stuff like that. And even the social media group at the moment, there's only about 800 active members in there. So it's a very small number. My doctor in Melbourne is actually also from Malaysia.
Wow.
She's been practicing in Australia for over 20 years. She works with remote communities in Western Australia and in Northern Territory. She's an incredible doctor. And when I found her, I said to her, I do not want to just get prescribed medication. I want to get to the root of my diagnosis. And that's how she helped me with my MS diagnosis.
Okay.
And when it came to light that I had MS, she was quite shocked. She's like, "You're from a tropical country.
Yeah. Wow.
How is it possible?" We were
Well, I
both
agree. Yeah.
flabbergasted.
Yes.
So yeah, in these countries, especially where they're on the equator, it's not as common to have MS, and so the awareness, the support, it's all very difficult to attain over there.
It'd be really
Yeah.
scary
Yeah,
living
it
over
would be.
there.
I
I can
agree.
imagine.
Yeah. Do your parents support you?
100%.
Do your parents
My
support
mom, yeah, so my mom was living in Australia and she's now in New Zealand. But she's gonna come back to Australia soon. But yeah, she's very supportive.
Good.
The thing is, when I do speak to extended family members or other people in Malaysia about MS, you can, no matter how much we try to explain, you can see them kind of just going, "Mm,
What?
okay."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
It means you're very isolated then because you can't share your story with your family. It's hard.
Yes,
And how long
yeah.
have you had MS for?
Yeah.
I've had MS. I was diagnosed in 2021.
Okay.
However, I felt the symptoms pretty much 1 year leading up to that diagnosis in 2021.
And what are those
Yeah.
symptoms that you have and
Okay.
that you were suffering from then?
So the first is going to make me sound silly, but I actually thought I was losing my mind. I
It's
actually
common
thought
too.
I
You
was
actually
very
going.
don't
common.
sound silly.
It's very common. I
A lot
think.
of people say the exact same thing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so I felt like I was not functioning properly. Everything that I used to be able to do so smoothly was taking extra effort. I was also working in a housing organization at the moment, so I was noticing my work was getting a bit difficult for me to. It was getting a bit difficult for me to think about certain things. I had to take more time, and then I started feeling things physically. So, for example, I would turn my head down like this, and I would feel like there was an iPad vibrating at the base of my back.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Like bubbles.
Yeah.
I think when I do that, my mom was very diagnosed when I use bubbles in my neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said that one. That's crazy.
But at the very beginning,
Yeah, it's
not now.
reminding you.
It's
That's
gone away now.
well, that would be
In
really.
the beginning,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
And then and after the bubbles, after the neck stuff, what happened for you after that?
I started feeling numbness on the left of my arm. It started getting really painful and numb to the point where I couldn't sleep at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I kept going to the doctors and they were saying it's probably a pinched nerve. It's because the pain, the vibrations in the back and stuff. They're like, oh, it's probably a pinched nerve. It's probably, you're sitting too long on the chair because it was COVID and we're all working from home. So I was like, no, this is not it. There's something going on in my body. And I felt like there was, I had issues with thermoregulation. I couldn't put the name to it at the time, but I kept feeling hot and cold in my body and I couldn't understand what was going on. So it kept feeling like electricity. And so I said to them, this is not a pinched nerve. I'm feeling it throughout my whole body. Something is going on. Then my GP said, all right, we're going to send you for an MRI. And we're going to see if it's, because she mentioned it could be MS with the symptoms, but she didn't want to actually put it out there. She said it could be the MS is pointing towards, the symptoms is pointing towards MS, but we need to do an MRI. So once the MRI came back and she looked at me and I looked at her, she's like, it's MS. I'm like, oh. But I was sort of relieved.
Yes.
People say
because
that.
it was like,
yeah,
it was over. Yeah, it was 1 whole year of going through this back and forth of specialists. I was also having tummy issues because my bowels were not doing very well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I got sent to a tummy to a tummy specialist, I think a stomach specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "Are you stressed out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am because I don't know what's wrong with me."
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow, it sounds like
Yeah.
It's always a roller coaster.
yeah, that's it for everyone.
Everyone seems to have these horrible beginnings that no one understands, and it's scary, and you feel like you're an idiot, and you feel like no one believes you, blah blah. But in the end, it gets decided. Answer. Okay, got it now.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good, in a way.
Yeah.
Bad too.
Yeah, that's the relief of the diagnosis, and
yes.
then you have to move forward with that.
And live your life. Yes.
And so,
Mm.
what were you doing for work during this time? Do you still work now, or obviously maybe it's made it harder for you?
It has been a bit harder. So when I got diagnosed, I was working for a not-for-profit housing organization. My mistake was disclosing that I had MS, and I requested for some change in the workplace, which was at first there was there was support, but as time went by, 1 month later, things were not looking right. Policies had changed, and when I had spoke to the coordinator asking her the reason the policy had changed and stuff, there was sort of a mention that it was part of the reason why they couldn't actually accommodate my request for change.
How do you do that?
Pardon?
Is that legal to do that? Is that legal to sort of?
I don't think so, but the way they did it, I called Fair Work, and Fair Work apparently said there is something called positive discrimination, which workplaces can use if it's in favor to them. So I thought, okay, well, this leaves me in a position where I'm stuck. I'm not getting assistance, so I had to quit my job essentially.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I resigned, and it's it's been a debate whether or not I should disclose I have MS in my applications.
Yeah.
And so I am honest. Yeah, and I am honest, but I don't get any callbacks. And this is also a discussion, I think, within a lot of people who are still in the workforce and who are looking for employment or who are looking for another job. Do we disclose it or not? And a lot of people say don't.
Yeah.
We've spoken to people way back. I forget who it was, but we've had this similar discussion of like, yeah, it makes it really hard because
you can't tell anyone.
and you want to work, you know? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember having a similar conversation. You poor thing.
No, it's difficult. Yes.
Yeah. And I even remember telling people at work when I was working, oh, this is what's happening. I'm going through some medical issues and it might be MS. And I remember one of the managers saying it might be all in your head.
Oh, that's classic. That's
Was that a man? It sounds like it was a man.
It's a man.
Woman. And I look at her and I'm like, really?
Exactly. Yes, it's
Oh,
insulting. That's not true.
Poor thing. But again, you're not alone. It's
So-
so sad that these same, we hear these stories.
Same stories again and again.
Yeah. And so you're currently not working?
I kind of run my own business at the moment.
Okay. What are you doing?
Yeah. I manage holiday accommodations down in the Mornington Peninsula.
Beautiful.
So,
Okay, yes. That'd be fun.
so I went from the not-for-profit housing sector straight to holiday accommodation.
One picture.
Girls got to eat.
Yeah, I got to eat. Yeah. And the thing is, my background is actually hospitality. I was in hospitality for years, for almost over 18 years.
Okay.
I can tell you have that very lovely hospitality personality.
Thank you. I love feeding people. I love entertaining. I love making sure people are happy.
Oh, wow.
So when that happened, I decided, hey, I'll just go back to what I know and see what I can do with that. And my mother-in-law is a cleaner down in the Mornington Peninsula, so she cleans a lot of holiday accommodations down there and stuff. So yeah, I've managed to kind of have a small business for myself in that respect.
Good.
And
it's a privilege to be able to go to work. That's something from working with Claire and meeting, people, amazing people like you along this way. It's a privilege to be able to
get in, go to work. Because when I was first diagnosed, my job was taken away from me, so I couldn't work at all. So my whole career just stopped on the spot. So MS Kid stopped the whole thing. So I can understand how you must feel that your work is now harder. because the
It's
thing
harder,
having cognition problems is such a big deal for MS. Cognition issues are very prevalent in MS.
yeah.
And how are your symptoms
And
now?
they're actually quite great. Not great. I don't feel about maybe 60 to 70% of my symptoms, which is great.
Wow. So is that from Ocrevus?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, from Ocrevus. I used to be on Tysabri, but then and then we get the bloody JCV virus, and we got to
It's me too. Yes,
And what is that? What
JCV is like it's a virus I don't know how you get JCV virus. It's some virus you can actually have for a long time. Then when you how does it work? I've forgotten how it works. It shows my cognition.
Apparently most people have it. It's called the John Cunningham virus. Most people have it without knowing, and there might be a trigger that just activates the virus.
Yeah.
So when they did a blood test on one of my Tysabri infusions, the results came back. I had the JCV virus activated in me, so I had to switch medications, and I chose Ocrevus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the Tysabri bring it on, or you can't have it because if you have that?
No, Tysabri, if you have too much JCV virus, you can't take Tysabri.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, correct, because it can cause brain damage.
Yeah,
yes.
wow.
And I think actually people with JCV virus can die. Is that right? Too much Tysabri can die. So
and I know you were so grateful for the switch and for the drug Ocrevus.
Yes.
Has it been the same thing for you, Charlene?
Yes, actually. When I got on Tysabri, I was like, great, I'm going to get this every 4 weeks. It's, every 4 weeks, I thought in my head, it's going to be a much better management of the disease. And I got a bit of anxiety when we said we needed to switch from Tysabri to Ocrevus because it meant longer hospital time, and it meant every 6 months. But when I got on it, and after the first treatment and after the second treatment, I started thinking, hang on a second, it's not that bad. I'm actually feeling much better than I was on Tysabri as well, because Ocrevus attacks the B cells, so it's going in much deeper in fighting the disease. And I don't need to go every 4 weeks. It's
amazing.
Twice a year thing. Yeah.
The side effects Ocrevus to me. I find the same thing. Side effects for Tysabri was really tired a lot and really felt sick a lot, I think it was. And now with Ocrevus, I don't feel anything. Nothing changes. It's a miracle.
Yeah. So with Tysabri, the next day after the infusion, I would just be flat out done. I would be at home.
Have a day off. I had like a Netflix day. Netflix day after, just kind of fun, but not really. But yeah,
because now you got the Ocrevus not that long ago, and you just tired that afternoon.
Just a day of it, and then I'm fine. No big deal.
So Claire, after the Ocrevus, now the next day you don't even need half a day to recover. You're okay.
Nothing.
That's great. Yeah.
It's awesome. So much better. I'm very grateful for having Ocrevus at all. And our friend, my friend, a person called Nancy Davis, who created the drug, really, her and her team in LA created the Ocrevus drug, and now we know her, and she talks about how the drug was made for people to, like us, get life back a bit and we can make it a bit easier on us. And I'm so grateful for the drug. Yeah, she worked out really well.
I'm grateful for all her research
her research is awesome.
100%, yeah.
And so tell us a bit about your life, so where you live and your family and your partner, and a bit about you.
Yeah, so I live in Cheltenham, in Melbourne, near Southland. That's where I actually bumped into you.
Yes, come and say hello next time. It's usually just me and Claire, like talking at each other as we walk through wherever we go. We're at Southland.
How many times I saw you?
You have to say hello next time. That's so sweet that you messaged.
I was like, wow.
Claire went, ooh,
we were like fans.
I feel like we're famous.
You guys are famous in my world.
Southland is so good. I love that shopping centre.
It's amazing. And it's so convenient because I don't need to go to the city. Most things are here, so it's great.
Right. We were like exploring doing all that.
I think you know big shopping you do in the Southland.
Yes. So you live in that area?
Yeah, I live in this area. My husband is a full-time senior project manager at an elevator company. So he works down in Port Melbourne in the city. And it's just the two of us with his mum down in Rosebud. My mom's in New Zealand at the moment. She's going to be moving back in about a year or so.
That's going to be so nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a little ginger kitty who's asleep in his towel at the moment.
Claire has a kitty too.
I have a kitty.
Yeah, he's always just asleep on the bed somewhere.
He's
Yeah.
and the dog's here. Yes, it's good. Yes.
And how did you and your husband meet? How long have you been together?
We met when I was working at my hospitality job. So I was managing a cafe down on St. Kilda Road. The hotel at the time was called Park Regis Griffin Suites. So I was managing the cafe. He came in because he needed the hotel needed the lift upgraded. So he came in and I looked at him and I was like, "Ooh, this guy looks like he'll be fun to hang around with."
I'm glad.
And I was not actually looking for anything serious at the time. Because I was
Find someone good.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
it always happens like that.
If you're looking, you know, find someone. If you're not looking, it's the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going through, like, not going through, I had just come out of a breakup. It was like 6 months out of a breakup, and I thought, I'm just gonna have fun.
Very tough.
There's your man.
Yeah, met him, and hey, we're married now.
Oh wow, I'm glad.
And how has the experience been within your marriage and with with your MS? How has that been for both of you?
Yeah.
In your relationship?
So we got together before I got MS.
Okay.
I got diagnosed before we got married as well. Actually, we were just living together. We were in a relationship, exclusive. And during COVID, I did not talk to my husband on my husband's name is Andre. I did not talk to Andre about the symptoms I was feeling leading up to the diagnosis. So for that time that we were in lockdowns, I was just working on my computer. He would be in the next room doing his work, and we would come and have dinners and normal life until I really started going to the doctor and saying this hurts and that hurts, and she started sending me for MRIs and to specialists. That's when things started to be like, maybe something is wrong. Andre was a little bit, when the talk about it could be MS came out, Andre was a little bit, what's the word? I forget the word for it. Not hesitant.
Skeptical.
And I guess refusing to believe that it could be. Yeah, skeptical that it could
in
be
denial
MS.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, in denial. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we had to go to the neurologist to get the confirmation. So when we were at the Alfred, in the doctor's office, in the neurologist's office, and the doctor turned and said, yes, it is confirmed, it's MS. I saw Andre's face drop. Like, it was just an instant change in his face of disappointment. And funnily enough, I didn't feel hurt, but I felt pain for him.
Oh, you're nice.
Because I thought, I know what I can do now for myself. I know what I need to do for myself and how to go, but he wouldn't know.
Yeah, and for your husband, I guess as well, probably the fear of the unknown in that moment, I can imagine. Did he know much about MS at that point?
He was researching a lot. So Andre is the type of person where if he doesn't know something, he'll try to do as much research as he can, and he did.
Figure it out.
Yeah. So I guess he had some understanding of what it was, but it was just the cannot believe that my wife had, like my partner has it kind of situation, I guess, and from there on, I think I then switched into denial mode for about a year or so.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I just kept going on with life. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be fine.
Yes.
I'll just go for my treatments and I'll be fine. And I can function and I can cook and I can bake and be in the hot kitchen and still, go
And
exercise.
Did it bite you in the bum? So you can't do that.
And then I started, because I was in denial, and while I was doing things, I couldn't understand why I couldn't do them, or why it took longer, or why I was feeling tired. And that then turned into frustration.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And when that frustration kicks in, I guess I then couldn't ignore that I have MS and I really need to get with the program for myself.
Yes.
And that also kind of helped Andre, because he did say, oh, it's a bit hard if you're in constant denial as well. Because I'm pushing myself when I'm in denial,
Yeah, of course.
and when I and when I push myself, and if I'm on the brink of not being well, I'm then affecting other people around me as well.
And also
And that was really
giving that
difficult.
kindness and that regard to
Being
your
kind
body
to your
and what
body,
you need.
Yeah.
and yourself.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, being gentle to myself was something
Wasn't doing.
Yeah, never done before.
never done before, had no idea about.
Yeah.
Being kind. I'm always kind.
Yeah,
Be
a lot
kind
of
to yourself.
people and women
women
relate
the
to
women
that
do.
too.
We don't look at ourselves enough.
And then how was that transition period, when you obviously would have had to turn inward and work on that? Okay, how can I start acknowledging what I need and not pushing myself? And what was that period like? It's a journey I'm sure you're still on.
Yeah. So I used to just cancel a lot of my appointments, like my MS physio appointments. I used to cancel them, and I thought, I'm not going to cancel. I'm just going to go go to the first one and see what it's like. And I went to the first one, and it was not tremendous what we did in that session. It was bits of information, but it helped me a lot. And I thought, this is helpful. I need to keep doing this. And because of that, I felt better at home. I could do certain things, and that naturally kind of made things a little bit easier. But there are days when, for example, traveling, I can't travel as what I used to, which is it's heartbreaking. Because once you love to travel, you don't want to stop.
You can't, because your body tells you no. Your body says no, I can't do that.
And that's so unfair because it's such a form of expression and freedom as a person,
and you can't do it anymore as much. And no, you can do
Imagine
it. It changes things. You can still do a little bit, but it just changes things a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And with that also, it affects the people around me that I travel with.
Yes.
And so there's places where sometimes it's too hot that I can't stand outside. And that might affect maybe my husband, for example, Andre, who might want to be there for longer and he can't. Simple things like that. Sometimes it affects us. So it's more so like one person has to give up certain things because of my condition, which is not fair.
No, it's not. You change things. If you love each other, you do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly
Make things
right.
work for each other.
Yeah.
And it also, I feel like, it's a really important conversation to have, and appreciate your honesty and transparency because it's not an easy thing. And I think so many people, I know Claire can relate to that, it's beautiful to have someone, but it's not easy on either of you.
And your partner's hard work. Your partner has to change. Just kind of, I'm glad that for your sake that you're Andre, when you're diagnosed and you knew you were already together. But I've heard a lot of stories where people with MS get diagnosed and their partner leaves them. And that makes you so angry that the whole scenario makes you so furious because it means that, I do think the person was a bad person, so that they left you probably the right thing to do. But equally, it shows character hanging around too.
That's it.
Life's hard. MS is a hard life.
And you're married, and for better or for worse.
Exactly.
And you're such a darling. We can tell.
I agree.
He's very lucky to have you.
I'm very lucky to have him as well, because I did say to him after the diagnosis, you are free to leave. I understand.
Wow.
This is, because it's going to be a long journey. I don't even know what's going to happen if I wake up tomorrow, if I'm going to be able to walk or not. So, the door is there open, and he stayed.
He's a keeper.
As he should.
He's a keeper. But that anxiety still sits at the back of the head, like, what if things get harder?
And you feel like a burden. That we need to talk about being a feeling. It's a bad thing to say, but I feel that you're harder, you're harder partner to have. But you were saying, and I agree now, it's not. It doesn't change us at all. It doesn't change us. How they view us is how they love us as we are.
We've been having that conversation a lot at the moment, and it's kind of like, one of the most painful, deepest, darkest thoughts that sits at the back there.
Yeah, it does.
But to bring acknowledgement to the fact that okay, if you go into that, you sometimes feel like a burden. If
I
we
do. I just
truly knew that,
I just say it's
that's not the case.
We're not. We're not burden. The people love us. We're not burdens them.
And then it's just bringing that attention to kind of bring back, okay, well, that piece of you is needing love
Acknowledgement
and is
and
needing
love.
yes, and to be heard. And,
Yeah.
I
look,
like
and
that.
you're both such darling women, and they're so lucky to have you.
Thank you. Claudia's very good
Thank
with mental health. She's like my therapist. It's very
Oh,
useful.
we can talk
I'm
about
very
that more.
lucky. Very lucky.
But it's, everyone has their own journey with it, and having MS would be, I can only imagine how hard it would be to kind of give that love to yourself and know that you're
Yeah.
worth it, especially within your world and within work or your relationship or your friendships or family. And yeah, it's not for the weak.
No. Makes you stronger.
No, it's
But
yeah.
also, I think it shows that people say, "Oh, it's so hard. How do you do this? I couldn't do it." But the thing is that when you're presented with it, or everyone does it. Everyone, you can cope because you find this different inside you. There's this strength that you didn't know you had. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm resilient. I'm strong. I do this, and you do. Everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just like losing someone in life. Life goes on. You just learn how to manage those feelings and manage life better. That's what it is. Yeah.
You can't not. There's no choice. You got to carry on.
And
Yeah.
what's the bits and pieces for you, Charlene, that bring you happiness or joy in your day, or that make your life that little bit better?
What things in your life are your joy?
I really enjoy cooking. I really enjoy cooking, baking. I love entertaining. But since getting MS and stuff, it's been difficult. So I'll get this burst of energy where I have to be like, okay, I want to cook on this day. I've got to rest today, so I've got the energy to do it. Yeah. And then I'll probably cook 2 or 3 dishes and I'll have that for the few days.
The week.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
Very good. That's good. To manage your cooking week according to your time, your energy. I'm sure you
Yes.
have.
Yes.
Do.
So
Glad
that brings
that
me joy.
It's bag ball.
But that
Bag ball.
yeah, bag ball.
I try. I'm okay, but bag ball's my go-to.
Yes.
I can do that one.
The
Okay.
easiest thing as well, and it's such comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
that's so beautiful.
So-
Oh,
it's
it's been so lovely
Yeah,
chatting with
it'd
you.
be great to chat.
You're just a darling. It's
Thank
been
you, Nike.
yeah.
Very nice. And you saw us too.
No,
I
thank
know.
you
Next
so
time
much.
we'll be able to see you and we'll say hello.
I recognize you. I probably won't.
Yes.
My eyes are bad, but I'm like, you'll see it.
Yes, and
So I recognize the 2 of you, so I'll stop
Thank
both
you.
of you and be
Yes.
like, I'll
Thank
drag you for coffee with me.
Yay!
Oh,
Oh, we
I'd like that.
we
darling.
live
It'd be
for
nice.
it.
Yes, I'd love
Yeah.
that. Good.
And it's not until October 2027.
Oh yes.
But we are putting together Claire has opened up a charity for MS research, and we're putting on an MS ball in Melbourne. So it's going to be amazing. So for all of our beautiful people on the podcast, when the tickets are available, we'll let you know. We'll send, when the tickets are up and out, it won't be for a little while, but we'll send them through to you guys, and we'd love to have you guys attend.
You and Andre.
Yeah.
I'd love to attend. I love getting dressed up and
Yes, there'll be
looking
red
pretty
carpet
in
and
places.
silent auction, and we're
It'll be fun.
in the works of
Great.
it now,
Yeah.
but it's we want to let all of our podcast people know, so when the tickets go on, and we're
It'll be in October next
got
year.
no time to waste.
No time
and
to waste. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a lot of work
good
ahead of us, but
job
it's going to
on
be worth it.
Yes, it will.
yeah, good job, Claire. Good on you for doing this.
Thank you,
I'm so
Sarah.
proud.
Good. Yes, good. Thank you,
Yeah,
Diane.
Great,
it's
yeah.
exciting.
All right.
Oh, so lovely to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Good to meet you. Really good to meet you properly, as opposed to
Yes.
South End.
Yes,
We're spotted, but
we
now
hope
we
to
speak
see you in
properly.
person
Great.
soon, and thank you for being so open and honest with your heart and on your sleeve. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
No, honestly, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure and it was an honor as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
us too.
Us too. Thank you, Diane. Thank
Oh, we'll
you.
speak to you soon, Charlene.